Morning. God. Good morning. When is season 2 of Free Ren and Friends coming out? So hello, Cactus. Good morning to you. Moku 1020. Yeah, Clan Blitz is here. Is this the wig episode? What do you think? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. What is an NFL rules change I would like to see? Uh, onside kicks kind of suck now. It's been proposed several times, the 4th and like 25 or 4th and 30 on your side of the field or something. I think I'd be open to that. Or make onside kicks easier somehow. What do you mean it's not bald anymore? Well, things change, Basil. We can't all stay the same. Basil, I was gonna say that this is my my attempt to be completely decked out, but I was like, I don't need that sound clip of me saying that. Oh, Hoenn Hero! Whoa! Well, Hoenn, that would require you going to Riptide. Does the wig give me stat bonuses? I wish it gave me immunity to nonsense. But unfortunately, that's what the idiots in chat are for. Anyways, how are you guys doing? You could watch me commentate, that's right. You could. God, this... So, I don't have, like, a picture. Actually, I probably could. But it was in high school. Let's see. It's gonna take a while to load this. Let's see. Can we... Let's go to... I got a picture to show you guys of me in high school. Just needed to, like, crop around it real quick. That didn't help. I don't think I can... Nah, I can't pull this off. My point being, I used to have hair... Let's see, hold on. No? Yeah, very hastily. You might be able to see this. Hold on. So when I was in... That's not it. There we go. When I was in high school, I grew my hair way out. And my I guess these are my bangs here. Those would get in my eye. And like every day I'd just be like... And you could probably tell I'm losing my hair here already. Like there's a receding hairline going on. I just grew it out really long. So this whole, hair in my eyes thing, I'm actually used to this half my life ago. And it's very nostalgic for me to have to blow hair out of my face. I feel young again. Nito, get out of here with talking about teams with a losing record in the playoffs. What are you doing? Yes, there are a lot of Steeler fans. I guess open Steeler fans in the Splatoon community. Does that make sense? Oh, well, thank you, Rocket. I already knew that, but we'll take that as well. You don't like what, my hair now or my hair in high school? It's not shameful to support the Steelers. No, Steelers are fine. I don't think it's cringe to be a Steelers fan. You told your grandparents about me? You think they... Your grandparents, might be a little out of touch. I mean, when I streamed on my own channel, I probably made like $50 like over the course of the time that I did the Popcast just off of streaming, but that's like hundreds of streams. I could probably... What do you think I could get with that money? Twitch payouts. No, stop. Get out of here. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Popcast. Whenever you're listening to this, whether it be live or a VOD, Twitch or YouTube, while you are mauling about me not naming you for upset of the year, still holding on to copium that a patch is coming soon, raising an eyebrow at NBC using Banjo-Kazooie music for a Sunday Night Football game reference. Whatever it is that you're doing right now, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen to this. Unless I don't. Bubblegum Swamp being used on Sunday Night Football I think, caught every gamer on planet Earth kind of off guard. I think Nito said it best. NBC basically giving off weekly Splatoon tourney vibes by playing video game music during breaks. What's next? I would love to see some Donkey Kong Country 2 being played during a playoff game this upcoming weekend. I would totally tune in just to listen to that. News of tournaments that may be of interest to the casual listener of the Popcast. In case you have not heard, there is a major Splatoon LAN event that's going on in Japan this upcoming weekend. It is called Splash Go. And we have been reached out to by the folks who run Splash Go, we at IPL, asking us if we would do an English broadcast of their tournament. And we said, yeah, where do we sign for that? We'll be happy to do that. It's not just going to be just like, I mean, obviously we're not sending someone out to Japan with a camera or anything like that, but there is going to be, I believe, like an opportunity to have Nine and Zach, who are going to be doing the English commentary for that, actually interview some of the players live at the event with an English translator that's going to be on site. So there's going to be a cool opportunity for more than just like two guys sitting on a couch reacting to what they're doing. No, it's going to be an actual broadcast of the event in English, and it's going to be super awesome to see. Shout outs to everybody on the West Coast on this upcoming Saturday. You're going to get a great experience to watch on your Saturday night. Maybe go to bed around midnight, maybe 1 a.m., and you're, when the tournament's done. For those of you wanting to watch this on the East Coast, you realize life is short. Why not stay up and watch a Japan LAN tournament? Yeah, it's going to be like 4 a.m. maybe by the time you're done. But as they say, sleep is the cousin of death. So my eyes wide open because your dreams is kin to your last breath. So stay awake on the East Coast on Saturday night. Watch Splash Go. It's going to be on IPL, Twitch, and YouTube. Today we are going to be taking your calls. It is the prediction episode of the Popcast, as we've been doing pretty much the first official Popcast episode of the year for the past couple of years now. And I am going to do a better job of recording the predictions you guys make during the Taking Your Call segment so that I could point that out at the Popcast Award episode in December to make fun of your stupid predictions, even though all my predictions are going to be cookies and juice. All that and more. But first, God, being bald's not so bad. It's actually pretty fun now that I think about it. Oh, this is my favorite episode of the year because I get to do some critical thinking or some critical inkling about some things that I'd like to talk about. What are some predictions that I can make that aren't going to be boring, that are potential to come true, and are something that is going to be entertaining to hear and keep an eye on over the course of the year. It's also fun to look back at the end of the year to see how things have progressed, where we were mentally as a community in January of this year versus where we're going to be 12 months from now. Who knows what kind of shocking, crazy things are going to happen. At this point last year, Splat World Series wasn't even a glimmer in anybody's eye. Certainly the Splatoon 3 North American League was something that caught everybody off guard. Like, who knows what this year has in store for us other than me? That's right. I have all the connections. I know. I've forgotten more things in this community than most of you people already know. I have conversations with a lot of different people. I got a good idea of where the scene is going. I can smell colors. I got all of this going, and that is why I'm able to make these 5 bold predictions that you're going to listen to today and be like, there's no way that's going to come true. But every single one is. Unlike last year. I was just messing around last year. I'm being serious this time around. Number 1. I wanted to make a prediction about Riptide specifically. I didn't really know where I wanted to go with this one. I thought about, well, let's predict a winner, which I do have a team in my mind. It's like, I bet it'd be pretty, I bet it wouldn't be a surprise if this team actually won Riptide this year. But that's kind of a hard thing to do considering 9 months from now, who's actually going to sign up and play in this thing. And not just like who is, but like who would that team specifically even go up against. I don't think anyone saw Gray coming over and playing with members of Milky Way and Voy Lacti this time last year when it came to Riptide. So we're not going to predict a winner this time around. It's also kind of a, easy thing to say, oh, this is going to be the biggest LAN ever. Okay, yeah, Riptide has been the biggest LAN ever for like the past 3-4 years in a row now. Not exactly a hot take to say that this upcoming Riptide will be bigger than the one last year. In fact, I think everybody expects that to be the case because history would tell you that is the case. Instead, here is my first prediction of the year. Splatoon at Riptide will have more participants than Melee at Riptide, making Splatoon the second biggest game going on at Riptide this upcoming year. That is a bit of a crazy statement when you just think about it, considering where we would be if it wasn't for the Smash scene. How there would not be a Riptide if Smash Brothers was not a thing. How there arguably wouldn't be Splatoon majors this side of the Atlantic Ocean without us leeching off of Smash Brothers. But of all the predictions I'm going to give, this one's actually most likely to come true, believe it or not. In fact, this is pretty much a not so hot take when you look at the numbers. Here is where the numbers were for Splatoon in 2024 and Melee in 2024. Splatoon had 461 participants. Melee had 627. That's a difference of 166 participants. Last year, however, though, Splatoon had 483. Melee had 506. A difference of only 23. The Melee numbers are slowly coming down on the Riptide side of things, and the Splatoon numbers, as we talked about, are constantly moving up into the right direction. Now, by the way, I am considering anything Splatoon related. So if you didn't play in the main event, but you did play in the college event, there is a significant number of players that are just playing in the college tournament and not playing in the main one, which there is some college stuff going on in the Smash Brothers scene as well. But that is driving up participation and bringing out more people to the Riptide event. Now, it's not going to overtake Smash Brothers as a whole. The number of participants who signed up for Ultimate, including their college tournament that they had, was close to 1,000. 978 is what it was last time. So, yeah, whatever the current version of Smash Brothers is, Splatoon's never going to touch that. I have a hard time seeing a future where that's ever going to be the case. And I'm not sitting here saying the Melee community's falling apart or anything like that. And if you think it is, Genesis is a month from now. Just watch that. Just watch Genesis a month from now. That'll give you a sense of where the Melee community is. It is amazing. But as far as Riptide is concerned, Splatoon sees Riptide as their Genesis. This is the one LAN you need to go to. If you can't go, if there's just one LAN you could go to, you want to go to Riptide. And now the Splatoon community has rallied around Riptide for these past couple of years. It's getting to the point to where there's going to be more Splatoon players there at Riptide than there are going to be players that are going to be participating in Melee. That is 100% going to happen. Number 2, while I won't predict a winner for Riptide, I'll make up for it by this. I will predict a winner for literally everything else going on in this community. Here's my prediction. PXG is going to win every single major that they sign up for in 2026. That is a crazy statement to make, even within context. Yes, we're coming off a year where PXG dominated the entirety of 2025 when they started to play together as a team. But nobody really saw that coming. And also, a year is a long time. People stop playing the game. New players rise up. A lot of things happen. So to sit here and say that PXG is going to go on a run that we haven't really seen anybody do, of winning every single major from start to finish 2 years in a row, it's pretty unlikely given all the things that could happen in a 12-month period. But the reason I feel slightly confident about making the statement is this great retirement thing we have going on here, which I'll believe it when I see it. Are we really going to see some of the top level players sit back and watch Div 1 teams make playoffs of whatever the next Nintendo League is? I doubt it. Now, do I think they're more than happy to sign up for another grueling 8-week plus playoff kind of thing? No, I don't think they're super thrilled about that. But I don't think they're going to pass up on the opportunity either. But with that being said, PXG being a team that wouldn't play in the league because most of their players, if not all of them, depending on what tournament they sign up for, are across the pond. But if we really are seeing a great retirement in all these other majors, the gap is just going to be widening between the team that is consistently winning this and the teams that are coming close, sometimes frames away from beating them. So prediction number 2, PXG is going to win every major that they sign up for. Number 3, one of the coolest trends the last couple of years has been the rise of charity tournaments. Now, it didn't start with this tournament. The charity tournaments have been a thing probably long since before I've been paying attention to the scene in 2018. But charity tournaments really kind of took a step up with the Squid for Palestinian Kids tournament that took place, I believe, in 2023 is when we had a couple of those. And since then, you've seen more charity tournaments start to step up. Last year, now somebody correct me if I missed something, but here's the ones that I've kind of looked back over and realized took place this last year. Obviously, we had R for R in December, Battle for BIPOC, Gamers for Giving. The CCA had a charity tournament for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Yes, Make-A-Wish Foundation. The Karma Coliseum, and there were 2 Trans Cup tournaments, which were both charity tournaments. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that I can list. And if I'm missing any, let me know. And some of these, it was able to easily kind of find the like charity amount that was actually raised. Some I haven't found yet, but I do want to kind of like compile all the information to see what the total charity dollars that was raised for in the entire community would be, regardless of the fact of like where the charity is going towards. But here's the prediction that I'll make. The number that was raised is somewhere north of about $7,000 across all those tournaments. My prediction, in 2026, the competitive Splatoon community will raise over $10,000 combined in charity tournaments. Now, we're coming off of R for R, which is probably the most successful charity tournament that the Splatoon scene has had up to this point. Production-wise, put together by Ellie, and I'm sure there's a team, I don't think it was just Ellie doing all of this, but I do want to give credit to Ellie, and Ellie can spread that credit around where necessary. But this event was one of the biggest streamed events in IPL the entire year. It wasn't bigger than Splat World Series. It wasn't better than Riptide. But when you take like the 2 obvious ones out of the way, like this was bigger than any low ink that we ran that year. R for R was a huge success, and it was just a bunch of silly TOs just having a silly tournament. It wasn't like we're putting Moonlight versus FT Win in a best of 25. This was just like random players, and it raised $4,340. Not too shabby. But we're coming off of that. That will probably inspire some more people to step up and do things and realize, though, you don't have to run the actual tournament. You can just do like a combination of something silly that people are going to watch for the right cause with the right kind of production value behind it. And it ends up working out. One thing I would like to see People loved it when there was that shopping gimmick in tournaments. I know a couple of different orgs kind of played around with that in just like a gimmick tournament. But like you have $40. Here's all the prices for all the weapons. You have to build a comp based around these $40. You want to use the Snipe Rider, it's going to cost you $12. You want to use a big swig roller, it's going to cost you $3, something like that. I think you're going to see more stuff similar to that in this upcoming year. And in case you haven't been paying attention to the planet Earth, everything sucks right now. And there's a lot of different reasons for people to want to start raising money to try to help something. Is the Splatoon community going to save planet Earth? No, obviously not. But you are seeing a lot of people stepping up through this community to make donations, to make events, to try to just make this world slightly less cringe than where we are right now. So my prediction, and I don't mean to put a dollar amount to this like it's a goal. It's not a goal. I'm just saying I think the amount of money raised through all charity events over the course of this year will be over $10,000, and I think that can happen. Number 4. Speaking of events that are cool, new, and inspiring, how about that LCS last year, huh? The LAN Championship Showdown, we gave it the award for the best production of the year. Last year, it had tons of viewership on Twitch, and maybe they'll include some YouTube stuff this upcoming year. Who knows? My prediction for LCS, it will have higher viewership total than it did in 2025. No, I'm serious. That's my bold prediction, is that more people are going to watch it the second time around than the first time around. And that's actually a really difficult task for them to accomplish. Like you would think naturally, little Popgun, they just do it again. They got 12 teams this time instead of 8. It's going to lead to more people watching. Have you guys been paying attention to viewership in competitive Splatoon tournaments for the past 6 months or so? It's been down. It's been down by a lot. And this is just me speaking from the IPL guy who pays attention to the amount of viewers that we have in our streams, especially with Low Inc., who's been paying attention to the amount of viewers that are in other tournament streams, and someone who's been paying attention to the Splatoon 3 North American League. They are not anywhere close where anybody would want them to be. The Splatoon 3 North American League being the most concerning, because before it was like, okay, well, there's just like, maybe IPL's just getting too stale. Like maybe you've seen one SOS, you kind of see it all. Like, how do we make it more interesting for the viewer? Well, the Splatoon 3 North American League gave you everything you would want. Production value, faces you actually know, marketing effort. How many of you, raise your hand, and this would include me, watched a YouTube video, but it started with an ad for the Splatoon 3 North American League? I saw that and I was kind of like, whoa, what? Why? Did I click on a YouTube, like a Nintendo video? No, like they actually paid for an advertisement that's not an AI advertisement, which I'm seeing all the time in YouTube. A lot of production and marketing went out for this. And yeah, the viewership was better than anything else. Like you had week after week, more people were watching those events than were watching like anything IPL or Dapple related or anything like that. But it's not anywhere close where you want that number to be. So for the LAN Championship Showdown, which was one of the biggest Twitch streams, period, for Splatoon outside of Japan this last year, to beat their record that they set last year, it's actually going to be extremely difficult. But I'm hopeful that they're able to do that because they can give a jolt back to the viewership levels for this. They provide something that nobody else can provide. A LAN Championship Showdown is not something anybody else can just do. It's a very complicated thing to pull off, and adding in 12 teams to adding 4 more teams to get to 12 is going to be a lot of additional work. But I am hopeful that my prediction that they'll have better viewership than last year will be true. And if that is so, that is a hell of an accomplishment that they'll be able to pull off. Number 5, in my final prediction of the year, Splat World Series was the most significant anything for the competitive Splatoon community that took place last year. We ran a tournament that brought in 8 of the best teams from Japan and surprisingly destroyed everybody in the West and led to a multi-week period of everybody having a conversation about things that were not related to TOs being bad or players being cringe or anything like that. Like, we just had conversations about the game for like a 2-week period because of that tournament. It was awesome. And the Splat World Series is already announced, or at least in Splat World Series fashion, released a teaser for a future trailer that is going to come at some point. And now, on top of that, as I mentioned before, IPL is going to be doing the English cast of Splat Go. This is going to be taking place this upcoming weekend. So now we have 2 different groups. That's not Area Cup that's doing that, by the way. We have 2 separate groups that IPL has made connections with within the past, 7-8 months or so, to do a collaboration between the West and Japan, which is awesome that we're seeing this kind of connection going on here. So here's my final prediction. We are going to see multiple full Japanese teams play in a Western major not related to the Splat World Series. If you're an old head, this used to be commonplace. It used to be more likely than not in a 20XX and a super jump in one of those majors you would see out of in-game TV. The team that wins it is not an FT Win or a Starburst or a Jackpot or somebody of that caliber. It was always some team from Japan. You guys remember Kings? You remember all those players that came over? There's other teams that I just straight up forgot. But when you go back and you look at some of these brackets, remember when Starburst was making their run and they went 48-0 at the very start of Splatoon 3? That was 48-0 asterisks against teams not from Japan. I don't think Starburst won a single major during their run because teams from Japan would play in 20XX, would play in Super Jump, and they would win it. Well, ever since the community guidelines came out a couple of years ago, we haven't seen any Japan representation in any of our majors. But now that we've had the Splat World Series, now that we're making other connections, not just TOs, but players as well continuing to make other connections with players from Japan, we are getting to a point now to where I feel like the Japan crossover is going to happen and we're going to get more top-level teams playing in our tournaments, winning our prize money, and escaping off into the night, like we used to see back in the olden days. Which does clash with my prediction of PXG winning every major they sign up for. So we'll make an amendment. Every major PXG signs up for that nobody from Japan also plays in is what they're going to win there. Because that would be rough if that was the case. But there's my 5 predictions for the year. Splatoon is going to have more players sign up and participate in Riptide than Melee at Riptide. PXG is going to win every single major this year that they signed up for. The charity tournaments of all the competitive Splatoon community are going to raise over $10,000 combined. LCS is going to have more viewerships in 2026 than they did in 2025 for their main event. And Japan is finally going to come back. We're going to have multiple teams from Japan playing in a Western major at some point this year. What about you guys? What kind of predictions do you guys have this year? I did this last year. We took your predictions and I forgot to write them down or actually care about them. Will I write them down this time around? Yes. Am I going to care about them? Probably not. But I'll write them down just for your guys' sake. If you would like to come on to the Popcast, here's how you make that happen. We are going to open a stage. Predictions. We're not going to ping everyone here. This stage is in the IPL Discord server. It is in the general chat. You can join the audience there. Raise your hand, and we will bring you on one at a time. I want to hear what your prediction is, and also if you want to talk about anything else related to competitive Splatoon community, go right ahead. Just don't be boring. Be exciting, or just be yourself. Whatever one of those happens. While phone lines are open now, so while you are joining and thinking about what you want to say, we're going to hop right on to the weekly recap. Tri-Strike Tuesdays make an appearance here on the weekly recap. The 51st edition took place last Tuesday. It was won by Taco Cat. John took second place, and the Trout Population rounds out your top three. I've never talked about Tri-Strike Tuesdays here on the weekly recap, but it is a tournament worth mentioning this time around because I noticed they had 50 teams. 50 teams played on a Tuesday night tournament. Now, maybe it has something to do with the fact that you kiddies aren't in school and you need something to do. Maybe all of you got a new Switch too and you wanted to try it out in the tournament. But 50 teams in a Tri-Strike, I'm pretty sure that's a record for them. And I'm happy because we at Low Inc have to deal with the Tri-Strike issue all the time. The issue being that teams will win Tri-Strike while they're Low Inc eligible because they're playing nothing but other Low Inc eligible teams. They're not playing a bunch of Div 3 teams back to back to back. And then we'll have people in help desk that they won Tri-Strike Tuesdays. Why are they playing in Low Inc? And it's like, did you see who they actually played? Who did they actually beat? Did you look at the results that they got, or did you just look at the number they got at the very end? Well, this one's pretty significant. I have no issues with Taco Cat. I'm pretty sure they're already banned from Low Inc. I don't know. The Tri-Strike Tuesdays, nicely done. 50 teams. Keep growing from there. I see you. Triton Cup number 128 took place on Friday. It was won by Sunny's Brilliant Emporium. MZ took second place, and Long Live Sindao.Inc. rounds out your top three. There was some speculation that the site Sindao.Inc. was crashed because Sindo, who was on the team that finished in third place, was so upset that he didn't win a tournament that he just deleted Sindao.Inc. in rage. And apparently, based on his description on Blue Sky, that is not the case. And there was no rage quitting going on there. It's up for you to believe, though. I mean, what happens if Sindao decides to just delete the entire site? I guess we just go back to Battlefly. Please don't. I hated that. From the Ink Up number 94 took place on Friday as well. The upcomers finished in first place. Opening Gambit finished in second. And Malibu Rising. Hey, how about that? They finished in third place. Malibu Rising, your most wholesome team of 2025. Yes, that last year was 2025. They finished third place in this one. 40 teams played in the first from the Ink Up of 26. And they are now about 6 tournaments away from the Ink Up reaching number 100. I don't know what they're going to do for that. In the NFL, the Rams beat the Cardinals 37-20. The Chiefs, who really cares? They're all eliminated. The Vikings, they're eliminated, even though they have a better record than anybody in the NFC South. And the Steelers somehow don't lose and are now in the playoffs against the Ravens. And that was your weekly recap. Sponsored by Paddling Pool, which did not run this past Wednesday. I think this is the first Wednesday ever where there was no paddling pool. And we just glazed over that. Like that's a significant thing. When whatever God you believe in first created the universe, I believe on the third day they said, let there be paddling pool on every Wednesday at 1:00 Eastern time. It didn't happen this past Wednesday. They do not run paddling pool on New Year's Eve, but let it be known, last year, they ran paddling pool on both Christmas and New Year's Day. So they don't give their staff off for Christmas or New Year's Day, but they think New Year's Eve is an important holiday not to have a paddling pool on it. Shame on you, Dapple Productions. Shame on you. But we'll make you the sponsor today's segment of the weekly recap. Paddling pool number 351 will take place next week. All right. The phone lines are firing up. So let's start moseying our way through this one. Let's start off with everyone's favorite, your friend and mine, Nito. Do you turn your microphone on? That's step one. Come in, Nito. Okay, we don't have a Nito. We're going to move Nito back to the audience, and then we'll try that again. While we're waiting for that, let's see if Half's microphone is on. Half, test 1, 2.
Yeah, I have a microphone.
Hey, I hear some semblance of Half. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. What's on your mind, Half?
Okay, wait. You're a Rams fan, right? Sorry, I said the gets out of my head.
I'm who?
You're an LA Rams fan, right?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Some background on that. They won the Super Bowl when I was in third grade when they were the St. Louis Rams. I've been a fan ever since. So, yes.
Okay. For some reason, I thought you were a Colts fan, and I don't know why. But I
Well,
was like, you draft. But I was like, you drafted Cooper Kupp, so I'm like, I think he's a Rams fan.
well, I live in Indianapolis. Is the thing. I've lived
Okay.
here for 12 years now. But no, I've never been a Colts fan. In fact, I
Okay.
like it when the Colts lose because this city is way more interesting when the Colts are not doing well.
Okay. I have three hot takes that will
Okay.
progressively get hotter. I think they will progressively get hotter. We'll see. Okay, my first hot take is that there will be two new maps in Splatoon 3 introduced this year. I think Nintendo will want to like push the sale of Splatoon Raiders. So what are they going to do? Introduce new maps, new content in Splatoon 3. It's a very hot take because we don't know anything if they're going to update the game at all.
So wait,
That's why it's a hot take.
you're
Yeah.
saying that I actually like this. You're saying the Raiders will come out, and then in Splatoon 3, they'll like give us new maps that are kind of based on the Splatoon Raiders game. Is that what you're kind
Or
of getting
or
at?
I think they'll release Splatoon 3 maps to promote Splatoon Raiders.
Yeah.
Vice versa, whatever.
Okay.
Okay, that was a hot take. I don't think, and some of these might come true, but who cares?
Okay.
Next
I'll
one,
give you
I
that.
think take two. Splatoon 4 is announced this year to come out in 2028. That's a
Uh,
very hot take. That's a very hot take. It's a
uh,
long shot.
somebody said that last year on this episode, right?
Yeah,
And we
but I
just
said 2 years in the future.
Yeah, but I get because you're correct. They'll have to announce it, and then it's not like it's going to come out this year. Actually, they might announce it like early, and then be like, yeah, like at some point later the next year. But I mean, we're just going to do this take every single year on the Popcast, saying Splatoon 4 is going to come out next year, and then we're just going to
I
keep doing it.
that
Eventually, someone's going to be right.
I don't. I mean, I don't fully believe it, but I'm like, might as well say it. Okay,
Well, okay,
third
let's.
one. Third one. This one I think for sure will come true. Okay, starting now, like ignore anything in the past. Just like delete any other like past events. Delete anything else that's happened in the past. Ignore the past. JJ McCarthy will win a playoff game before Dak Prescott.
All
That's
right.
true. It's gonna happen. It's gonna
Thank you,
happen.
thank you, Half.
It's gonna
Thank
happen.
you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Let's try Nito again to see if we get these.
Is my
Test one.
mic on?
Your mic is on, Nito.
All right, what's up, Papa G?
Thoughts on Half's prediction that J. McCarthy will win a playoff game before I didn't pay attention to the rest. I got triggered.
Well, I gotta say, half is more obsessed with the Cowboys and Stephen A. Smith. The only thing is that Stephen A. Smith is only slightly less annoying about the Cowboys. So I'm gonna ignore and totally dismiss that prediction and act like I never heard it happen. So we're
Well,
just gonna move
good.
on.
What predictions do you have, Nito?
So okay, one of them is that my cold will go away within 2 days. That's why my voice isn't as magical as it always is, but
Okay, we'll follow up with you on Wednesday with that. Gotcha.
lovely. And number two, you mentioned viewership of Splatoon tournaments, and I gotta agree. Like I've seen Splatoon tournaments, mainly CCA, because that's where I'm mostly at. But anywhere throughout the competitive Splatoon community, it seems like that viewership is starting to go down. I think gimmick tournaments have to rise up in 2026. Like we're gonna see a lot more of them, and when I mean we're gonna see a lot more of them, it's gonna be more than like one every 3 to 4 months. It's got to be one at least every 2 months. I dare I say months, but there needs to be more, and there will be more because something needs to be bringing more viewership in. Perhaps maybe not the standard tournament. If you want to go for a major, it's fine. Get one in, but it's gonna be gimmick tournaments that start to take center stage.
I'll buy into that. The thing I will caution though is it depends on what the gimmick is. I think there's been some gimmicks that are fun and clever, and then there's some gimmicks that are just like, okay, this sucks and this isn't as fun as I think you would assume it would be. The one example would be there was a turf war tournament to where
Oh
you
Lord.
you it was based on whoever was closest to 50% of the turf covered, and not so much like who, like you couldn't go over 50% of the turf covered or else you would lose. So like the idea was it was like,
Oh God.
anybody, any skill level, because like if you just curb stomp your opponent while you painted too much of the map, you lose. And then what everyone realized was is like, oh, well, let's not paint our side of the map at all. Let's just spawn camp the enemy team for 3 minutes. And that's what happened. It was like, oh, this isn't. So, yeah, gimmick tournaments, I think are fine. It just depends on what the gimmick is what the audience will respond to. Because like some
Right.
gimmick tournaments, you see one game and you're like, okay, I got the gist of what this entire thing is.
I want to see more of that shopping cart stuff where you're like,
Yeah.
maybe these class of weapons cost $5, these cost four, three, two, one. I like the creativity, but it also needs to be a gimmick where I can just look at it, read the rules once, and say, all right, like any casual fan just needs to look at it and go, yeah, okay, instead of that turf or algebra to pass or fail with a 90 or never see the school again type thing. I got a third one. Got a third prediction.
All right. So you're saying gimmick tournaments every 3 to 4 months. That is your prediction.
Right.
Fair enough.
I think that at some point, I think this Riptide, this collegiate tournament that the CCA is hosting alongside Riptide, it's going to have more than 16 teams. I think last
Is there a limit to what they can have? Like I don't think they're limitless as far as like how big they can get. I think there's like
right,
a cap to what they can do.
right, because there's only so much you can fit in that. Like, well, going off of what we did last year for Riptide, there was only so much you can do in that little time span in Saturday night, going on to Sunday morning, because then you don't want to occupy too much for silver bracket in the top 16. But there are stuff we're trying to do to. There is stuff. Oh my gosh, great. Sorry, I'm still sniffing through the half nostril that I have available, but
I know that feeling. Yeah.
I think there's more we're starting to do to kind of streamline the entire process, so we don't have colleges and Mizuno frantically running around the venue at about 11 p.m. next time. So I think there is a cap. I don't have that number in my head right now, but I think we're going to start. You're going to see that cap increase just a little more because colleges are starting to buy in more to collegiate Splatoon.
Well, and I'm pretty sure the CCA would love to see the Riptide event just become like the college national championship, so to speak. You just see like everybody come out and participate in that. But again, there's only, when you're at a LAN, you're limited to what the setups are. And I'm pretty sure the room that we were in, like we were pushing the maximum amount of like power that could be used at a time. Like I think they were going up against the power limit as far as like the wattage they could use. I'm not a good source on that, but that was some of the things that I heard. But yes, I would I agree with that one as well.
I guess you could say power unit. What's the issue?
Oh my gosh. Are we just going to have joke after joke here of everybody coming on? That's neato. Well, actually, no. I was going to say I expected better from you, but I didn't. Your favorite song from Banjo-Kazooie is what?
Oh crap! I don't know it off the top of my head. I haven't played Banjo-Kazooie since I was a kid.
Well,
I just know that one that came on Sunday Night Football, and my neurons activated. Like I got a Triceratops in my hand, so I was like, "Oh, I don't know." It's I'm gonna say "Higher" by Creed.
Can you take me higher? Let's welcome in Cactus. Yeah, good morning, Cactus.
Good morning, Popgun. How are you?
I'm doing good. What's on your mind today?
I got three predictions for you for
Okay.
2026. The first one that might be taking some aback is I feel that one Western team will take a set against a Japanese team in Splat World Series.
You see, I wanted to say that, but
Yeah.
then I was like, you know what? You know what's funny is that it not just PXG actually took a game, but Milky Way came really close. I mean, it's an 0-2, but they came close to actually winning both those games. FT Win had a legit lead in two of their games that just choked them both away. So like, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but yeah, we'll give you that. One Western
Yeah.
team takes a set. I think that would break us as a community. I think we might just stop the tournament there and call it a day there. What's your
Yeah,
what's
no
your
matter
next one?
what. Yeah. After that, the next one I have is in regards to Land Championship Showdown. Yeah, we are built up now to 12 teams for it, but I feel, and my prediction is that Gatorland will be back-to-back champions.
Now, what was
I
the
Yeah,
roster for? Was Hinlow a part of that?
Henlo, Lexi, Splat, and I'm pretty sure it was that kid. I mean, all it's a strong roster right off the bat. I mean, sure you might have whatever these new four locals will bring to the table, whatever players decide to attend those. I know Big Dapple will probably have a little bit stronger of a roster, especially because we've seen some other names return. We've seen Zero return. We saw Omega at the previous Big Dapple, which was a change up for from seeing. So I think we've had pretty much almost every Moonlight member except for Basil at a Big Dapple event, and of course minus their coach Chara. So I think the competition will still be fierce, but looking at if considering I've seen most posts on Blue Sky from most of the members of My Little Henlo saying they're probably going to come back for it, I think they have a very strong opportunity and chance to just be your back-to-back crown champions.
I think everybody's lucky that a lot of the top players in Texas don't go to the Houston land because
Yeah.
when we did the Region Rumble Proving Grounds, Texas. I know Texas is just like a massive state, so it makes
Mhm.
sense you're gonna have more people. But Texas had like half of FT Win and half of Starburst there. Like it's just not fair what they could do with
Yeah,
that.
no.
So yeah, Florida might just I could see Big Dapple definitely winning it, but Florida's got a lot of talent too for that as well. What's your final prediction?
My final prediction I have is going against your prediction against with PXG Senate for Majors. I think Moonlight will finally take an online major win. Keyword online, not in person. I know they went like back to back to back for like in person majors. I think they won Gamel, they won MomoCon. Um, they've been on the edge of glory for these online majors, couple second places, I think couple thirds. They had a fourth place in there. Obviously they performed beyond what most people expected in the NA league. And I feel like it's about time their practice is finally showing true in their day of play. I think they'll finally bring one home this year.
I think the entire community would love to see that at this point. I
Yep.
made that same prediction 2 years ago, and I was disappointed. I was let down, and so you can feel that shame on the end of December when you think it happens, and then all of a sudden PXG comes out
Yep.
nowhere, or this person who said they're retired, I'm coming out of retirement, and it's like, really? So I
Yeah,
mean,
just for the
but
one time.
we'll see. Moonlight it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. Moonlight wins their first major. Keep in mind that would be their first major win. Period. They haven't won a major,
Yeah, that's
which is
true.
crazy
That's
to
true.
think about. All right,
They
Cactus,
can
get
change it
out of
up.
here.
All right, we'll do. Goodbye.
Jeez, you guys come on. I got 12 different predictions for the year. What do you got, Madison?
I have some more predictions. I have three, I think. So,
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. We're rules of three
okay.
today.
So my first prediction is that Sundu Inc. will get a really big feature. Like I'm talking probably equivalent of the tournaments being added. I'm not sure what that feature will be yet, but I think it could be like maybe like I'm not sure how to say it, but like a new format for like a tournament-esque style event. Not like a league, but like yeah, so that's one of my first predictions. My second prediction is that a bunch of VTubers will do some tournament or something. I don't know why. I don't watch any VTubers. I just feel like that's gonna happen.
Okay. Well,
And then my third one. Oh,
send
sorry.
them the link to Low Inc. We'd have to have a VTuber only team. I'm sure they'll find their way into Delta bracket if we have that again.
And my final prediction is that a major tournament will have like a fully custom like soundtrack for the tournament.
Ooh,
Um, so I think that'd be interesting to listen to, and I think it would be cool to just like lift some music makers in the competitive scene up into the light. So I think that'd be cool.
you know what? It took us years to change during like the screen in between games from just playing more Splatoon music to playing video game music from a different game. So maybe we are going to get to a point to where we can have some more originals. Now, I believe JPEG, when JPEG's been a part of some production stuff, has like found some more. It may be Ellie too has found some more like unique things. You know, like from other. I don't really know like music like non-copyrighted stuff or like things that like promoted other players. So maybe you're onto something there. Maybe that's something we could see more in the future. Uh, Good take. I'll take that.
We
All right. Nicely done, Madison. 3 predictions getting in there. Mouse. Welcome on to the Popcast, Mouse. What you got?
Hi, Popgun. It's been a while.
It has.
I don't really follow the top teams, but I
Do you have a
never.
prediction for
Okay.
2026?
Can it be not a top team and like a different?
It could be anything. It could be any kind of prediction for
I
the
think
Splatoon community.
Anarchy Stars will get Tri Strike Tuesday banned. They managed to shoot up. I know. I have a friend on that team, and I was like, I guess the second thing is like my org is to become an established org by getting the player numbers.
Okay. Oh,
Which-
it's in like good enough to where you're allowed to make a tournament on Cindo or something.
Oh no! Well, we get them for free.
Oh,
I
okay.
think. Yeah, no, we're allowed to make. Someone's funding them,
All
and I guess the last one's more of a reflection of how far the journey's been. Because Sendo adding tournaments was a big thing for helping get into the scene, and okay.
Well, you know, that was we got some good predictions going on here, and we got them down. Anarchy Stars will be banned from Tri Strike Tuesdays. That would I
You
would
know
hope
what?
they
Another
reset.
one. Let's
Oh,
have another UK live. Breeze will come back.
Breeze
Let's
will
have
come
another-
back. There we go. That might be the hottest take I've seen. I would be willing to bet that doesn't happen, but I bet another new EU land. I think that's
Well,
more
something
likely.
of that equivalent, you know.
Yeah.
And I guess another thing, let me get Shark Tank banned. That would be funny by the end of the year.
Well, Mouse, you keep working on that, and we'll talk to
Also,
you
I
again
love the
soon.
wig.
Thank you. Thank you. I love it as well.
Miku.
It's, I think I don't- actually no. This wig is actually rather tight. I'm ready to take it off, but we're gonna be. People donated to see this for some reason. I forgot the Cloudy. Good morning.
Yes, I have. I have 2 very silly predictions.
Okay.
Probably the hottest so far. I don't know why I thought of these, but I did. First, I think we'll have Nintendo doing something for the EU scene. As
Okay.
in something either similar to the NA League or something like a LAN. But I think they'll be doing something for us at least.
Okay. You'll have to write letters to your local overlord officer in the Nintendo EU branch to see what they're up to. But I think everybody would love to see something like that. What's your other prediction?
My other prediction is maybe the stupidest one so far as well. I think we'll have Nintendo pull an oopsie and accidentally destroy the meta and change it forever.
Oh, well, I think they tried, and then people realized Blaster was a thing. It's funny, and I'm going to make this a post the next time that we get third kits. How everybody was talking about, this new mini's broken. Like, we got to ban the new mini. Like, everybody's going to use it, and now literally nobody uses the new mini at all. So, it's I think sometimes we think Nintendo's going to change things up, and the more things change, the more they stay the same. But so yeah, that is I wouldn't consider that a stupid take, but the meta will definitely change at some point, whether Nintendo wants it to or not. All right, Cloudy, nicely done. Have you ever played Banjo-Kazooie in your life? Oh, they left. I'm going to take that as a no. That's a rip. I should start. Who are we bringing on? Good morning, soy sauce. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. What takes you got?
Okay, so first one is not Splatoon related, but England's gonna win the FIFA World Cup this year.
Stop. No, they're not. Okay. Well, all
Yes,
right,
they
fine.
are.
All right, fine.
Yes, they are.
England wins World Cup.
Like, we got Bellingham, Palmer, Saka, Trent, Kane, Rashford, Sancho, Maguire.
Mark Maguire from the St. Louis Cardinals. You could just tell me any names. You know who we have on the American team? Jose, Charlie, Frederick. We got all the great players.
All right. And then my other prediction is it's kind of a stretch, but in Inkstorm meta, I feel like Inkstorm is going to get a massive healing buff, and it's going to change the whole game.
No. Now, I think naturally you kind of think like, man, Inkstorm should have done something like that, but no, come on, a healing mechanic in a special.
It kind of already has one. Inkstorm has one, but it's just not that strong. I feel like it's going to get buffed more.
You think they're going to buff the healing mechanic? All right.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think's more likely? They'll buff the healing mechanic or England wins the World Cup?
England wins the World Cup. It's coming home.
Well, bless your heart, I guess. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
FIFA predictions in my Popcast? Come on, guys. That's not the type of football we talk about here. Isn't that right, Yaris? Did I say that right?
It's Yaris, but it's fine.
Okay.
I do not like football, so I fully endorse your message.
Let's go.
Okay,
I would hope people who listen to
have,
the things I say endorse the things I say as well. Otherwise, why you listen? What you got?
I have one prediction.
Okay.
I was wondering whether this is either too hot take or too lukewarm a take, but considering it has already been directly countered by someone on the call section, I think it's hot enough to say. Nintendo of Europe will do absolutely nothing to support the competitive scene in 2026 for the third year running.
I think that's a lukewarm take.
Yeah. It's just kind of, a lot of people want an EU league, but considering that the viewership of the NA League was not amazing already, and now Nintendo of Europe would have to make it in 6 different languages, which increases the cost dramatically considering the viewership isn't great. And also, something I've noticed even looking back a few years ago, a lot of the UK championships kind of happened at conventions in the UK that don't exist anymore. There's this really interesting Insider Gaming article about how the UK has lost all of its big gaming conventions. For example, we had a big convention called Insomnia that was quarterly where the UK Championship finals happened. That's dead. They're trying to bring it back in a field for some reason. And also events like EGX, which used to be Eurogamer Expo, where there were qualifiers held for the UK Champions last year. That's gone to be a corridor in Comic-Con that no one goes to. So there's not really any motive for Nintendo to hold EU Championships anymore. And that's held throughout the entirety of Splatoon 3's lifespan. I looked on Wikipedia, In Splatoon 3's Lifesand, US has had 5 different events. The EU, we've had one. So I think the trend will continue.
Well, I think if Nintendo of Europe were to look at what Nintendo of America was doing, and they just did like the online variant, then you wouldn't have to worry about those convention centers that have kind of gone away, or like the events that have gone away that they were able to kind of partner with, I guess. So that would make things simpler. I have zero connection to Nintendo of Europe to know like what, like anything that goes on over there. And I'm not that I'm saying I have a connection to Nintendo of America. Obviously, I've done commentary for the last league, but that doesn't mean I know anything because I don't. But just going off of context clues, like you just rattled off the history there, would make you think, man, it's more likely than not there's not going to be anything. But maybe what's going on over here in America will inspire something to take place. And I hope it does. I hope it happens because Europe has so much talent and not a lot of ways to kind of express that talent in the way that the Americans do. But yeah, I think that's a lukewarm take you have. But so be it. It's still a take. It counts. All right. There we go. This week is really killing me. So we got 5 people here. Nobody past Moku is gonna get on. So we're gonna blaze through these 5 real quick, starting with SM Galactic. What you got?
Hi, Popgun. It's been a long time.
First time caller, long time listener for sure. What have you been up to?
Pretty much. I've been grinding out this game a lot. Originally, back during Ludi, I was Division 6. Now I'm low ink band, and I'm pushing Div 3 now. So it's been quite a long journey, quite a long ride. Predictions for 2026. This one's kind of a mix of Nintendo doing something since its new president came along. The president of Nintendo of America now is actually more of a fan of Pikmin and Splatoon. And since the NA side, as well as the EU side, well, can't count EU for this, since the NA side's been kind of like almost bare compared to like Japan, I'm hoping that next president will help boost up the numbers and help boost the popularity of the scene.
Okay. So your prediction is the president of Nintendo of America is going to boost popularity of Splatoon.
I'm hoping that happens.
Okay. What other takes you got, or is that it?
My other take is that during a open level major, I don't remember exactly which one, it was it was Milky Way versus PXG. Now we know PXG has been the top, if not the top level team right now currently in the West. And Milky Way has been improving a lot more and becoming so consistent against PXG that they nearly beat them in a tournament with bracket resetting as well. They got down into losers early, went through all of losers, and came back and bracket reset PXG and took them to game 5 of bracket reset.
Yes.
I think PXG is going to be either the same level as Milky Way or will go below them in this year because Milky Way has been so dominant recently.
You're correct. The only caveat to that is that Milky Way's Jared has hinted at that since the league ended, Milky Way was going to disband. There hasn't been anything official that I've seen since then, but I don't think. I think that the general consensus is Milky Way is not going to be a thing for much longer until somebody says something otherwise. So that's the only. You're right, because it's like, oh, there's all this bit. They're playing the best they've ever been playing up to this point, and now it just seems okay. Nobody knows what the future of that team is, but so that makes your take even hotter. I like it. We'll roll with that. All right. Is that it? That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for having me on here, and let's see what the future has in store for us.
Let's do it. Let's look at the future together. We'll get there together, unless we don't. 4 more to go. We're gonna go with Splat Droid. Where are you?
Hey.
There we go. Hi.
How's it going?
Oh, you already know. It's going fantastic. You know, I'm
like all
talking to
these
you on a
predictions.
Monday night. What else would I be wanting to do?
I've got like 6 predictions, but I'm gonna go fast. I'll go fast.
Okay.
One, Free Flow will win an online major.
Okay.
2, this is a crazy one. Splatoon Raiders will get a release date at the same time as Sheldon's picks will be announced, most likely in May to July.
Is that a reference to the fact that we got the third kits the same day?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. You know what?
I believe.
That's not too crazy of a take now that you think back to it. Yeah, you got something there. Okay. What else?
I do way too much mental gymnastics about things like that. I think NA League will get a second season in the fall. It's crazy, but I think it'll just they said see you next season. I'm gonna cope. I'm gonna cope for that more than third kits.
Okay. Second season in the fall. Go on.
Mini will be nerfed, even though I don't think it should be nerfed. I think it should be more hammer, just like balanced a little better. But I think they'll get mad at Mini being high up, and they'll nerf Mini even though it shouldn't be. And last thing, selfish one, my team DPS only will win Tri-Strike, like within a month.
Within a month. So this isn't a year prediction. This is a month prediction.
All right. Month, but year is guaranteed. A month is what's a chance.
Well, did you play in Tri-Strike Tuesday last Tuesday? Well, that was technically in December, wasn't it? So that doesn't count. All right.
It doesn't count, so it doesn't matter how bad we did that last week.
Droid, these are these are some solid takes here. Is this your first time coming on the Popcast? Have I talked to you before in person?
This is my first time. I just wrote them all down, and I tried.
You come on more often, all right? You call.
I'm gonna try. I'm trying to be a caster. I'm trying to start doing that and get my confidence up, and this is part of it.
There you go.
I said, "Fuck it, I'll try it."
There we go.
You're not supposed to curse.
No, that's fine. That's fine. It's a new year. There's a lot to curse about. We'll get to it. Get back to the audience, though. Get out of here. Keon wouldn't drop an F-bomb on this show. At least I don't think so. That'd be a...
I guess the only F-bomb word I know is 5.
5?
It's not at all the F-bomb, yes.
Fair enough. Keon, what do you got? What's your takes?
I only have 3 takes, not the 6 that Droid had earlier. So I can only go half. I can only meet you halfway. So last LCS season, there was a team. I'm trying to exactly remember if it was it was the Sunset Surge team that basically attended CBAT and won that LAN, but they could not qualify for 2 LANs for the LCS.
Right.
So this upcoming LCS, there will be 2 teams. It doesn't really matter. The team name is irrelevant. There will be 2 known cases where they will qualify for 2 separate LANs, and they can only represent 1. We can only double the number this time. Okay,
now you're gonna have to do the math on that. How could that, like, you're not gonna have it? Could a team win like New Ink LAN and Big Dapple? Like, I'm thinking of stuff that are close enough together.
There's Anarchy Nova in Northern Virginia, which
is
pretty
right.
close
That's right.
Proximity to New York. And then if people were bold enough, they would go to the what was it? Don't Flounder, I think, was also another land that got introduced, and that's in North Carolina as well.
Yeah.
They also have Toronto as well. They also have the Toronto one, which they'd be bold to go to Toronto unless you want to go to Canada for one. And which is crazy. What's also crazy is I am blinking on the 4th one that got added. So it was SoCali. Duh, that was the other one. There are plenty of opportunities.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, it made sense for one of those lands, but it's not like someone's going to win Seattle and Gatorland. But you start connecting the dots along the East Coast, and you're like, actually, somebody could win like 3 of them if they felt so inclined. What else you got?
Second one, this is me being very Midwest biased. There will be a second Midwest local. Now, Midwest would be the Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana area, that general vicinity, maybe even Missouri. There'll be a second Midwest local, and that will be the one that will make an LCS appearance next year.
Okay. Definitely some stuff been trying to get off the ground for the past couple of years here in Indiana. Ohio's had stuff off and on. I would love to see something come more. I know they got Riptide, but just like the Columbus area has been trying for a while. I would love to see something consistent come out of that. What's your third take?
This is what I call the Philip Rivers take here.
Okay.
The reason why I say that is, the great return that everybody posts about.
Uh-huh.
There's gonna be at least 2 players. I'll say, I'll actually up the number 3 players that have made retirement posts this past year. They're going to unretire and play in a major again. The majors I would think about may not include Riptide, because Riptide is a LAN, and you're going to a LAN to hang out anyway. There will probably be 3 players that would unretire. Doesn't matter who. They'll just be. It could be anybody from FT Win or other teams, etc. They will unretire and participate in a major. That would be anything related to Super Jump, for whatever reason, the Sendo Q season finale, and other ones that fits the criteria.
You know what? I think that's the most boring take of everybody that's given a take so far. That's going to happen. Like, it's yeah. You want me to give you you want me to give you the check mark right now? You got that one correct, Keon. Yes, there you go.
You know what? Sure, fair enough.
Yes, I don't think anyone's going to be surprised when a lot of the players that say now. My thought is that we played a gazillion of tournaments from June all the way through December, and I think a lot of people just need a break. And if people step away from the scene forever, kudos to them. But history would tell you that once everybody's got a bit of a break in, and then the next thing gets announced, it's like, okay, I'm ready to go again. But yeah, we'll.
But when you say retirement, some people will interpret that as you're done with the game eventually. So that's That's what.
We're all gonna die at some point. Sure.
That's true.
You don't get old because you don't stop playing because you get old. You get old because you stop playing, as they say.
That's true. You know what? Can attest to that.
Well, congratulations with tying the Lions for 9-8 for and enjoy your long off season with JJ McCarthy.
That Christmas game was diabolical because we started Max Brosmer, and he only gives us 3 net passing yards, and we win by 2 scores. And I'm just sitting here like, what on earth is this season on? At this point, I don't even want to make the playoffs. We just want to reset. And everybody across the social media landscape is like, oh my goodness, we could have done these 2 things to qualify for playoffs. Like, no, this is for the greater good. Don't you fall under that trap.
Somebody keeps bringing that up in our fantasy football server. If this one thing had changed, like, yeah, no snot. Like, that's a lot of things could change. That's the world. All right, whatever. Get out of here, Keon.
I have an important thing to tell you. Bubble Goop Swamp is the most elite song from the Banjo-Kazooie soundtrack. I
can't believe they played that. I was like, what the heck?
They played it to describe the frog stance for one of the defensive linemen of the Steelers.
Yeah, they played it for Cam Hayward of all.
I thought there was a YouTube video that was playing in my background. I was like, wait, what YouTube video would have a Banjo-Kazooie song? Then I had to look at the NBC broadcast on the right side of my monitor. And I'm like, they're playing that. Okay, social media's gonna explode here. I gotta check what's going on right now. And the first post I saw was Gregory posting about it.
Yeah, Greg. Yeah. All right, get out of here, Keon. Gosh, that was hilarious, for sure. Duck, it's Duck and Moku, and then we're out of here, and I could take this with me.
Hello.
Duck, what you got?
So my prediction is that I think there's a chance that the Switch 2 may cause some controversy or conflicts in the competitive community at some point.
Okay.
I don't know if you've mentioned about this before, but
as in, like, players on a Switch 2 will have a competitive advantage over players on the Switch 1 kind of thing?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I wanted to get into competitive, but I only have the Switch 1.
Oh, that's fine. And that's the one you need to have. I mean, you can't even play at a LAN with a Switch 2. Maybe that'll change. But Riptide last year, you couldn't play with a Switch 2, so Switch 1's the way to go. I don't think there is, as of now, any competitive advantage of having 2 over 1. Maybe there'll be an update at some point that would, but just with how Nintendo operates, I don't think Nintendo would want you to be able to play a multiplayer game and buy better skill level. So I think Nintendo would purposely prevent Splatoon 3 from being better on the Switch 2 for that one reason. But you never know. You never know. What else you got?
Well, I wish there was more of a LAN scene here in Arizona.
Have you heard of Sunset Surge?
Not much, but it's still on to very far from the central areas here.
Oh, okay. So you're kind of just wanting to land closer to where you live. Because there is a LAN in Arizona. It's pretty popular. You should look into it. Sunset Surge. It also one in Southern California there. But or you could just make a LAN. You could be the person who makes the LAN. I'm sure Arizona's big enough for multiple one of those things.
It's not very big where I am. Very small county.
Right. Well, we'll bring in the last person here. Duck, you got some good takes there. We're going to go with Moku, and we're going to call it a day. Moku.
Yeah, what's up, Popgun? I like.
Oh, you already know? You already know. Why are you even asking? It's going great. What you got?
Okay, first of all, Splatoon Raiders, I think it's coming out this year. It's
okay.
Gotta.
So you think we're going to get a release date for 2026 at some point it's going to come out. Okay.
Yep, I hope so. And it'd be really nice to see it.
Is that it?
No. There's another one.
Okay.
I just didn't know when you were going to stop talking. This is my first time on here.
No. You talk and I just react and then you keep talking. And then you just talk over me when you feel like it. That's what everyone else does. That works out.
The biggest one I have, aside from that, is that ever since the Race for Races tournament, I've seen plenty of other charity tournaments that were smaller in terms of visibility and just visibility in general. No charity tournament's too small. Everybody's got a huge impact. But I think since Race for Races, we're going to see more major charity tournaments. Because we raised so much money. I think the goal was much smaller. And we got $4,000+ donated to Race for Races. I'm so proud of this community. But one question I've got for you. If the goal to have you wear a wig was around 780, I could be wrong. If we divide 4,000, I know it's over 4,000, but if we divide those numbers, would that mean you would have to wear a wig 5 more times?
No, because that's not what I signed up for. Now, maybe if you give me the contract and I sign it and it says every time we go over 700, you got to wear a wig another day, I might consider it. This thing is painful as all get out, so maybe I wouldn't do that. But
fair enough.
But okay, so R for R, I agree. I would like to see more major charity tournament stuff like that. I think what made R for R so successful is Ellie's production behind it, giving it kind of the Splat World Series treatment to an extent. Not that there was trailers coming out every single day, but and getting every single TO in the community, every single commentator, every single production person together, and having the entire world basically help promote it as well, I think played a huge part into that. And so that takes a lot of work to make happen, and I don't think every tournament is going to be able to pull that off, or if everyone's going to have the energy to do that multiple times. But that's why R4R was successful, and I think there's some things other people can take away from that. Maybe not everything, but some things they can kind of take away from that and be like, okay, here's something we can implement in our tournament to help make it a little bit better there, for sure. Good stuff, Moku. What's you ever play Banjo-Kazooie?
I have not, but I've heard of the NFL using the music.
What's your favorite?
It's something I would.
What's your favorite non-Splatoon video game?
Let me consult the big shelf of games. I think my most favorite one would probably have to be Breath of the Wild.
Okay, you had to think about that. Breath of the Wild over Tears of the Kingdom?
Tears of the Kingdom is just fine too. It's just that Breath of the Wild introduces us to the whole world. It throws you in head first saying, hey, your memories are gone, fool. Go and do whatever you want. Oh yeah, the princess is in need of saving, but other than that, you can screw around in Hebrew for like a few years and be like, okay, Ganon's right there. I'm ready to do it, and just get rolled.
Fair enough. All right, Moku, you come on anytime you want, all right? Nicely done.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, we're done with this episode of the Popcast. You like to be, I gotta take this thing off. This is like so tight on my head. We'll do an episode next week, talk about something I don't know. If you'd like to be a part of the Popcast anyway, feel free to reach out to my, no, not 24 hour. Twitter or not Twitter, Blue Sky at Popgun, Discord Popgun, YouTube at 25 Popgun, Twitch at Popgun 25. Get vaccinated, stay safe, wear a mask when applicable. We will see you next week. Probably talking about Splash Go or something. I don't know. Watch Splash Go this upcoming weekend. English cast on IPL.